Hello, good evening. Shifa, am I audible to you?
Yes,
Shifa,
sir.
you are there? Yeah, okay. Uh, Shifa, we are waiting for Prerna to join. And I think you were not there in the previous class, huh?
Yes, sir. I wasn't at home.
Reason? Why were you not there?
I was not at home.
Acha, okay, okay. So, in the last session, we were talking about the reissue of shares. I think because you missed that session, so I would recommend that you ask for the recorded session from your counselor and make sure you cover that topic because that is very, very important. In the upcoming sessions and in the upcoming questions also, we'll be discussing questions wherein that concept is very, very important. Okay, so make sure you get the recorded link and cover that topic through the recorded session. Okay, we'll
Yes,
wait
sir.
for 2 more minutes, Chita, so that if Prerna joins, otherwise we'll start the session without.
Okay, sir.
All right, Shiva. So I don't think she's going to join us today. Anyway, let's do one thing because she is not here. Prerna is not here. So let's do one thing. Let me just cover the concept that you missed in the previous session. Okay, I think that will be better for you. So we talked about the just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. So we covered this topic in the last session. Forfeited shares reissue. Okay, Prerna is already here. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll have to move to the next topic. But anyways, since you have missed the session, Shifa, so let me just give you a quick recap of this topic. In this topic, while discussing about the forfeited shares reissue, I I told her that uh, after the cancellation of the issued share because of the default default made by the investor in respect of payment of any installment, company decide to cancel the shares, right? When any of the investor default in the payment of any installment in respect of shares, like if you have defaulted in the payment of the allotment or the first call or the final call, then in such a situation, because of the default made by the investor, company decide to cancel the shares. But even after the cancellation of share, company may reissue these shares to some other person, some other some other investor, and may raise the fund by issuing the cancelled share or the forfeited share. Okay, so we talked about the accounting treatment of the forfeited share issue, wherein I told that if the forfeited shares are being reissued at a price more than the paid up value, then journal entry will be bank account debit to share capital to security premium reserve. But if the shares are being reissued at a price lower than the paid up value, in that situation, the journal entry will be bank account debit, share forfeited account debit, share capital. These are two entries that you will have to remember, and these entries will be very much helpful while in the in fact in rest of the chapter, because in the upcoming question reissue of shares will be there in almost all the questions, so this is important. Anyways, moving on to the next question. I gave question number 27. No, we did question number 27 the class itself. I must have given question number 28 and 29 as a homework. Just wanted to know whether Prerna is able to solve this question or not. Prerna, have you tried solving question number 28 or not?
Yes, sir.
You were able to solve it?
Yeah.
All right. So, you don't have any doubts regarding question number 28 and 29? Okay, then, so if everything is clear, let's move to the next question, question number 30. We have few more questions left in this topic. Question number 30, 31, and 32. We'll finish this. We'll try to finish all this in today's session. Starting with question number 30, all of you, pay attention. This says Hindustan Manufacturing Limited had a total subscribed capital 10 lakh in equity shares of 10 each, of which 7.5 were called up. A final call of 2.50 was made and all amount paid except two calls of 2.50, each in respect of 100 shares held by D. These shares were forfeited and reissued at 8 per share past necessary journal entries, including that of cash, to record the transactions of the final call forfeiture of shares and reissue of forfeited share. Also prepare the balance sheet of this for the company. Okay. So I guess the question is pretty much clear to all of you. It is saying that company have basically issued 10 lakh equity shares of 10 each, right? And out of it, 7.5 has been called up. A final call of 2.50 was made in respect of all the shares except uh, in respect of 100 shares. We need to pass the general entry for the issue of shares as well as for the forfeiture and the reissue of shares. Okay, so let's solve this question. So total subscribed capital was of 10 lakhs rupees, having a face value of 10 each. That means total share were 1 lakh. So number of shares issued was 1 lakh, right? On which company was willing to raise the amount on the basis of installment. On application, company, okay, the amount of application and any other thing is not given. It says total amount of 7.50 out of 10 rupees has been called up. Application, allotment, first call, and final call will be there. I'm assuming total amount that company wanted to raise is 10 rupees per share, on which 7.50 has been called up, and the last two calls is not paid by. Last two calls of rupees 2.50 each is not paid by D. That means first and final call must be of 2.50 and 2.50, and application and allotment collectively must be 5 rupees, right? And question says that the total called up value in this question is 7.5. Called up value is already given in the question as 7. Now question says that we need to pass the journal entry, pass necessary journal entries to record the transaction of final call, forfeiture of share, and reissue of forfeited shares. All right. So we are required to pass the journal entry in respect of the final call. Pass necessary journal entry to record the transaction of final call. That is what question says. The journal entry for the final call will be, final call was of 2.50. No? Journal entry for the final call. For the final call, journal entry will be share final call account debit, or in fact equity share final call account debit to share capital account, right? And the equity share final we will be calling in respect of 1 lakh shares at the rate 2.50. That means total amount due in respect of final call will be 2,50,000, and share capital will be 2,50,000. Then we will pass the entry for the receipt of call money, final call money, which is bank account debit. We have received all the amount in respect of final call, except one of the investor did not pay in respect of final call. That is what is given in the question. Na? All the amount paid except two calls of 2.50 each in respect of 100 shares held by D. So that means Mr. D did not pay in respect of 100 share towards the final call. So what we'll do, we'll simply subtract 100 out of 1 lakh and multiply this by 25, which will give us the value of 2 lakh 49,750, right? And calls in arrears account will be debited. Calls in arrears account will be debited by 100 and 2.5. In respect of final call, 100 shares we did not receive in respect of 100 shares at the rate 2.5, that is 250 is still in arrears. To equity share final call. $250,000. Entry on final call. This will be the entry on final call. Got it? This is the entry for the final call. Now, question says that we need to pass the journal entry for the final call, and we need to pass the entry for the forfeiture of shares and reissue of shares. All right. Forfeiture and reissue of shares. Now we'll pass the entry for the forfeiture of shares. This was on final call. Now we'll pass another entry on forfeiture of shares. I'm sure both of you remember the journal entry for the forfeiture of shares. In respect of 100 shares, amount is not paid up. Na? Sorry, 100 shares will be forfeited. Na? So the journal entry will be share capital account debit or equity share capital account debit, as you prefer. Share capital account debit to share forfeited to calls in arrears. This is the entry for the forfeiture of shares. Right? All of you. Now, see, share capital account will be debited by, because 100 shares are being forfeited, and since the final call is not paid, that means the total called up value will be equal to 10 rupees. Just a minute. And each of which 7.5 were called up a final. Okay, so the information in the question, wherein it is written that the called up value is 7.5, it is not relevant now, because it says that after giving the called up value, question further says that the final call of 2.50 was made, and all amount paid except two calls, 2.5s each, in respect of 100 shares held by D. That means total called up value will be 10 rupees. So the called up value which is given in the question is not at all relevant. Called up value will not be 7.5. Called up value will be 10 rupees. Why? Because company have asked D to pay the final call as well, out of which D failed to pay the first call and final call. You understand that? Application was due, he paid the application money. Allotment must have been due, he must have paid the allotment money. But when the first call was due, he did not pay the first call. When final call was due, he did not pay the final call as well. So the total amount by which share capital account will be debited will be 100 into 10. Number of shares being forfeited into the called up value. That will be 1000. And how much amount will be forfeiting? 100 into whatever the amount that he have paid. He have already paid, apart from first and final call, he paid 5 rupees. He must have paid 5 rupees. Now, if the total value of the share is 10 rupees, and in respect of first and final call, 2.5 rupees is each is in area. That means 5 and on allotment and application, he must have paid 5 rupees, which company can forfeit now. So 100 into 5 will be 500. And cost in area will be 100 into 5. 500. Done, everyone? This will be the entry for the forfeiture of shares. I hope this is clear, all of you. Clear now? Is it clear, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we will pass the entry for
Yes,
the
sir.
reissue of shares. Now, since Shifa, you missed this class, pay attention and try to understand what entry will be done when shares are being reissued. The issue of shares. If question is silent about how many shares are being reissued, we will presume that all the shares which has been forfeited will be reissued. So Mr. D have defaulted in the payment in respect of 100 shares. So these shares were forfeited by the company. So obviously company will be reissuing these shares only, right? But how many shares will be reissued? It is not there in the question. So we'll presume that all the shares will be reissued. and we have to pass the entry considering that all the shares are being reissued. Now, when the shares will be reissued, at what price it will be given to the customer, it will be given to the investor. That is most of the time given in the question. Like in this question, it says these shares were forfeited and reissued at 8 per share. Okay, so journal entry will be when we will reissue the share, we will receive some amount directly into the bank account. The bank account will be debited. Bank account will be debited by what amount? Sir, 100 shares are being reissued, na? And all the shares are being reissued at 8 rupees per share. So total of 800 will be debited to cash account. Bank account debit to 8. Bank account debit 800. To share capital or equity share capital account. Now we need to multiply number of shares being reissued, which is 100, into the paid up value of the share. Now in this question, paid up value of the shares reissued is not given. If the paid up value of the shares are not given in the question, in such a situation, we will presume that paid up value is just equal to the face value of the share. So we know that face value of the share in this question is 10. That will be considered as the paid up value itself. So 1000 into 10 will be 1000. So you can interpret this as the 100 share which has a paid up value of 10 rupees is being sold to the new investor at 8 rupees. That means we are issuing the new share at a discounted price. We are reissuing the forfeited share at a discounted price. And because of allowing the discount of 2 rupees, we had suffered a loss. Shares which are being reissued, actual value of the shares is 1000. It is being reissued for rupees 800. So that means we have a situation of loss here. So, and obviously because of that, both the aspect of the journal entry is not telling. On the credit card, we have 1000. In the debit section, we have 800 only. So now to balance the equation, what we'll do, we will transfer the entire loss to the share forfeited account. We will debit the balancing value to the share forfeited account. All right. So that will be 200. This is the entry for the reissue of shares. Done, Prerna? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, see, this is what we were also talking about in the previous session, that when we forfeited the share forfeited account has been credited by 500, right? When share forfeited account is credited, it is considered as a situation of profit. We have a profit when we forfeited share. We have a profit of 500 when we forfeited the shares. And when we reissued the share, we suffered a loss. So share forfeited account debit balance indicate loss, and share forfeited account credit balance indicate profit. All right. Now we need to adjust this credit and debit balance. And the excess amount need to be transferred to the capital reserve. That is what I was also trying to explain in the previous session. See, we have how much share forfeited account credit balance is how much. So share forfeited account credit balance was 500, right? And share forfeited account debit balance is 200. Debit balance is a loss and credit balance is a profit. Now, when you will adjust this, you will notice that we have a higher credit value than the debit value. So that means net balance will be positive balance, which is considered as share forfeited credit balance will be share forfeited account. Credit balance is 300, right? And this 300 need to be transferred to the capital reserve account. And for that, we'll pass the entry as share forfeited account debit to capital reserve account. All right, everyone. This is an extra entry that you'll have to do. That means whenever there is a situation of forfeiture and reissue, at that time, we need to ensure whether the credit of the share forfeited account is higher than the debit of the share forfeited account or not. If it is higher, then the excessive amount that we have there in the share forfeited account that need to be transferred to the capital reserve. All right. So this is it is an additional entry that we'll have to do every time when it is a case of forfeiture and reissue of share. I hope this is clear. Prerna, Shifa,
Yes,
Yes,
tell
sir.
me
sir.
if it is clear. Okay. All right. So moving on, the next question. This was all about the question number 30. Achha, this question also requires us to prepare the balance sheet, which I think all of you will be able to do on your own as well. Do you think you will be able to prepare the balance sheet in this question? Let's do one thing. Let me just show you the balance sheet. I want you to take the screenshot because it will take some time to prepare the balance sheet. So I'm not going to do it for you. We have already covered and understood the concept of the balance sheet. I think you can on your own prepare the balance sheet for this question. So I'm not going to do that for you. Kindly take the screenshot of the balance sheet section. Just a moment. This is the this is how you will prepare the balance sheet, and also the notes to account. Done. Define Prerna.
Yes, sir. Done.
Acha, ignore the working note section in this slide. Okay, this working note indicates the calculation of share forfeited account that needs to be transferred to the capital. You can ignore that section. Just focus upon the balance sheet part. Okay. Anyway, so this was question number 30. I'm sure all of you understood the question. Understood this question. And now I'll move to the next question. Okay, question number 31. This one is an easy question. I want all of you to try this question on your own. Question number 31. Try solving this. Prerna and Shikha. Umar, are you there? Umar, is this your first session for the account? Yeah, I guess because you were not there in the previous session. Umar, am I audible to you? Anyway, Shikha and Prerna, try solving this question. Thank you. Umar, are you there? I don't know. No one have informed me about any new student joining today's session. Okay, let me solve this question for you. It says Star Limited forfeited 500 equity shares of 100 each because of non-payment of the first call of 30 per share. Final call of 10 per share was not yet made. Out of the 60% of the shares were reissued. We need to pass the entry for the forfeiture and reissue of shares, right? So we can number, how many shares are being forfeited? Number of shares forfeited 500. Number of shares forfeited in this question is 500. Face value of the share is given as 100. Face value is 100 rupees. Okay, and it says the first call of 30 per share and final call was 10 per share. First call 30 and final call is of 10. That means application on application and allotment collectively, company must be raising 60 rupees, right? It says in the question that company have decided to forfeit the share because of the non-payment of first call and the final call is not yet made, which means that the total called up value in this case is called up value in this question will be called up value in this question will be 60 plus 30, that is 90. All right, and amount that investor have already paid, investor must have paid in respect of application and allotment because first call, in respect of first call, investor have defaulted. So in respect of application allotment collectively, 60 rupees must have been received already paid or received from the investor. Now we need to pass the entry for the forfeiture and reissue. The first entry for the forfeiture on forfeiture of share. Nodal entry will be equity share capital account debit or just share capital account debit. Share capital account will be debited by number of shares being forfeited, which is 500 into total called up value, which is 90 rupees per share. So this will be 500 into 90 will be 45,000. All right, 2 share forfeited. Share forfeited account and 2 cause in arrears account. Share forfeited account will be credited by 500 into amount that investor have already paid 30,000. Cause in area will be credited by 500 into amount not paid. How much he did not pay? 30 rupees per share, which will be 15,000. All right, is that clear? This journal entry is clear, everybody? This is for the forfeiture of share. Is it clear, Prerna? Chitra?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the second entry will be for the reissue of shares. Chitra, is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Then we'll pass the entry for the reissue of shares, which will be bank account debit to share capital account or equity share capital account, right? And see, at what price the forfeited shares are being reissued is not given in the question, but the total value for which it will be reissued, that is given in the question. Total value at which 60% of the shares are being reissued is 39,000. Okay, 60% of the shares are being reissued only, na? So that means out of 500, only 60% of shares are being reissued. That means 500 into 60 will be only 300 shares are being reissued. at a total value of 39,000. That means each share must have been issued at a price of 130 per share. Is that right? All 300 share must have been issued at 130 per share. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, the shares which is being reissued, is the paid up value of those shares is given in the question? Answer is no. No paid up value for the reissued share is given in the question. So as I told you in the previous question as well, if it is not given in the question, paid up value is not given in the question, then simply consider that equal to face value. The face value of the shares is 100 rupees each. So that will be 30,000. Now here's an interesting point. Now on reissue of share, because we have reissued the share at a higher value, it is being reissued at a higher value than the paid up value. Paid up value is actually 100 and the issue price is 130. That means we are charging 30 rupees per share extra. The extra amount that we have collected by reissuing the forfeited share, that is credited to security premium reserve account. That is considered as security premium reserve or security premium. 9,000 will be credited to security premium reserve. All right, is that clear? All of you done?
Yes, sir.
Now we need to determine how much amount should be transferred to the capital reserve account. So entry for transferring share forfeited account balance account credit balance to capital reserve account. What entry will be done? The entry is very simple. We'll be just debiting share forfeited account debit to capital reserve. This will be the entry. But the thing is that in this question, all the shares are not reissued. All the forfeited shares are not reissued. Only 300 shares out of the 500 shares forfeited are being reissued. Right? Now see, on the forfeiture of share, what was the amount of profit that we have there in the share forfeited account? Share forfeited account was credited by 30,000. 30,000, right? But this gain, you can for the time being consider that it is a profit on the forfeiture of share. This profit is on account of forfeiture of how many shares? 500 shares. But out of 500 shares, how much shares are being reissued? Only 300 shares, right? That means we cannot just transfer the entire share forfeited account balance to the capital reserve account, because the share forfeited account showing credit balance of 30,000, it is a credit balance in respect of 500 shares. But because we sold only 300 shares out of it, so we can just transfer 30,000 on proportionate basis only. We cannot just transfer the entire amount. You understand that? Because why? Because the entire profit belongs to the 500 share, but because we sold only 300 shares, we will have to calculate profit in respect of only 300 shares, which will be transferred to the capital reserve account. And the calculation will be like this. Amount forfeited, share forfeited credit balance. We'll do share forfeited account credit balance. Credit balance, multiply this with the shares being reissued divided by shares forfeited. We are calculating the profit on proportionate basis. Why? Because not all the shares are real. Shares for forfeited account credit balance was how much? It was 30,000. 30,000. Number of shares reissued is 300 only out of 500 shares. Right? So when you will calculate the proportionate value of 30,000, it will be 18,000. This should only be credited to transfer to capital reserve. So now we can write down 18,000 here. 18. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Prerna, Chita, is it clear to you? Shifa and Prerna, both of you, is this clear or not? Do I need
sir.
to explain it again? Prerna, for you, is it clear or not? Prerna, you're able to listen to me? Oh, I don't think she's there. Prerna, you are there. Please respond. You are on mute. Please unmute yourself and let me know whether you understood this calculation or not. Okay, anyways, let's move to the next question. We are done with question number 31. Moving to the next question, assuming all of you understood this. So question number 32 for you. All of you, please attempt this question. Please try solving this question. Done. Shifa, Prerna, both of you. Zainab, is this question completed? Zainab, Shifa, Prerna, or any of one of you still doing it? Guys, am I audible to all of you or not? Why am I finished? Okay. All right. So could you please tell me the correct journal entry for this question, Shifa? Tell me.
The first one is bank account debit to equity share application and allotment.
Mm-hmm. Right.
5 lakh.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And then second entry is equity share application and allotment account debit to equity share
Mm-hmm.
capital 5 lakh.
Correct. Well done. Then next.
Equity share first call
Mm-hmm.
debit to equity share capital 2,50,000.
Yes. Right.
Equity, no wait, sorry. Bank account debit to equity share first call 2,50,000.
Correct. Good job. Next. For
For
the final call.
final call, equity share final call debit
Mm-hmm.
to equity share capital 2,50,000.
Yes. Right. Well done. Next.
Bank account debit
Mm-hmm.
and calls and arrears account debit to equity share final call.
Very good. 240, 10, and
Bank account
50,000.
is 2,40,000 and calls and arrears is 10,000.
Well done. Yes, that is right. Now tell me the forfeiture and
Now for future, yeah. So I'm not sure about these. The forfeiture.
no problem.
entries.
Just tell me. I'll help you. It will be equity share capital account debit
To
by
share
40,000.
forfeiture to calls in arrears.
Entry is right. Tell me the value.
For equity share capital is 40,000, share for forfeited is 30,000, and calls in arrears is 10,000.
Yeah, this is it. This is the correct entry.
It's
Okay, go on. Tell me the reissue entry.
Share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve.
Capital reserve. Why would we get capital reserve? It will be bank account debit to share capital. Bank account
yes,
will be
I
debited.
I'm sorry.
I think you have missed the issue of share. You are telling me the transfer of share forfeited to capital reserve.
Yeah, I told transfer shares, yes.
Okay, never mind. Just tell me the correct entry for the reissue of shares.
Yes, bank account debit 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Share forfeited debit 10,000 to equity share capital 20,000.
Yes, very good.
And
the
then
last
transfer
one.
entry is 5,000.
Yes, perfect. Good job. Very good. Shifa. So this was all about question number 32. And now I think we don't have enough time that we can try one more question. I'll be giving you few questions for the homework. Kindly take the screenshot of the upcoming questions. Question number 33 will be your homework. Take the screenshot. All of you, please take the screenshot.
Done, sir.
Yeah. Also, take the screenshot of question number 34. All these questions are based on forfeiture and reissue of shares. Okay. And let me check if I have any other question. No. So only 2 questions for the homework, and these questions contain two, like in question number 33, we have 2 situations, and in question number 34, we have 3 different situations. So all in all, you can say we have 5 small questions that you can try. This is a kind of practice question that will help you understand more about the forfeiture and reissue of shares. So this is it for today's session. The next topic is oversubscription of shares that we'll talk about in the next session. This is a very important topic in this chapter, and this is going to be the last topic that we'll discuss, and this will